Welcome to Unlocking the Secret's Top 5 Music Production Tips. Today, we're diving into the essential techniques that can elevate your music production skills to the next level. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, these tips will provide valuable insights to help you create professional-sounding tracks. We'll be covering everything from basic mixing and mastering techniques to more advanced concepts like sound design and workflow optimization. So, grab your headphones, fire up your DAW, and let's get started. All right, let's talk about dynamics. Dynamics are the heartbeat of your music, the ebb and flow that can make a track feel alive and engaging. They are the variations in loudness between notes or sections of a song, and mastering them can elevate your mix from good to extraordinary. This is what separates a good mix from a great mix. It's the difference between a flat, lifeless track and one that breathes and moves with energy. Dynamics give your music emotion and impact, making it more compelling to the listener. You see, it's not just about making things loud, it's about creating contrast and depth. Loudness can grab attention, but it's the contrast between loud and soft, the interplay of different levels, that keeps the listener engaged. Think of it like a conversation. It's not just the words, but the way they're spoken that conveys meaning. First up, gain staging. Think of this as setting the foundation for your mix. Proper gain staging ensures that each element of your track is at an optimal level before any processing is applied. This step is crucial because it affects the headroom and clarity of your mix. You want to make sure each track is hitting your DAW at a healthy level, not too quiet, not clipping. This balance allows for better control over the dynamics and prevents unwanted distortion. It's like setting the stage for a performance. Everything needs to be in its right place. Now, let's talk about compression. This is where things get interesting. Compression can be used to control the dynamic range of a track, making the quiet parts louder and the loud parts quieter. This can add punch and presence to your mix, making it sound more polished and professional. Compression can add punch, control dynamics, and even glue instruments together. It's like the glue that holds your mix together, ensuring that all the elements work in harmony. But it's important to use it judiciously. But be careful. Too much compression can suck the life out of your track. Overcompression can make your mix sound flat and lifeless, stripping away the natural dynamics to give it character. It's a delicate balance that requires a keen ear and a thoughtful approach. A compressor with a fast attack can tame those peaky transients, while a slower attack lets them through, adding punch to drums or percussion. This can be particularly useful for instruments with sharp percussive elements, like drums or plucked strings. And don't forget about sidechain compression. This is a secret weapon for creating space in your mix and adding rhythmic excitement. Sidechain compression can be used to make certain elements of your mix stand out, or to create a pulsing rhythmic effect that adds movement and energy. You can use it to duck a bass line out of the way of a kick drum, or create those classic pumping effects. This technique is often used in dance music to create a sense of groove and drive, but it can be applied to any genre to add interest and dynamics. Remember, dynamics are all about creating contrast and interest. They are the key to making your music feel alive and engaging. By carefully controlling the dynamics of your mix, you can guide the listener's attention and create a more immersive listening experience. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what sounds best for your music. Every track is different, and what works for one may not work for another. The key is to listen critically and make adjustments as needed. With practice and patience, you'll unlock the full potential of dynamics in your mixes. We're diving into the heart of mixing EQ, panning, and effects. These are the core elements that can transform a good mix into a great one. Understanding how to use these tools effectively is crucial for any music producer. These tools are your sonic paintbrushes, and with a little finesse, you can craft a masterpiece. Just like a painter uses different brushes and colors to create a beautiful painting, you can use EQ, panning, and effects to create a rich and dynamic mix. First up, EQ. It's not just about removing unwanted frequencies, it's about shaping the tone of your instruments and creating space in the mix. By boosting or cutting certain frequencies, you can make each instrument stand out or blend in as needed. Think of it like this. Each instrument has its own frequency range, where it shines. For example, the kick drum typically occupies the low frequencies, while the snare drum sits in the mid-range. By understanding where each instrument fits in the frequency spectrum, you can avoid clashes and create a more balanced mix. Next, panning. This is how you create width and depth in your mix. Panning allows you to place each instrument in the stereo field, giving your mix a sense of space and dimension. Don't just leave everything panned center. Experiment with panning instruments slightly left or right to create a more immersive soundscape. For instance, you might pan the guitars slightly to the left and the keyboards to the right, creating a more engaging listening experience. Now let's talk effects. Reverb, delay, chorus, saturation. These are your sonic spices. They can add depth, dimension, and that extra something special to your tracks. Effects can transform a dry, lifeless sound into something vibrant and exciting. They can add depth, dimension, and that extra something special to your tracks. For example, reverb can make a vocal sound like it's being sung in a large hall, while delay can create an echo effect that adds interest and complexity. Remember, a little goes a long way. Start with subtle amounts of each effect and gradually increase until you find the sweet spot. It's easy to overdo it, so always err on the side of caution and add effects sparingly. Don't be afraid to get creative and experiment. Try different combinations of effects to see what sounds interesting. Sometimes, the most unexpected combinations can yield the most unique and captivating results. So, keep experimenting and pushing the boundaries of your creativity. Chapter 3. Maximizing your workflow. Let's face it, a cluttered workspace can lead to a cluttered mix. That's why having a streamlined workflow is crucial. First and foremost, organization is key. Keep your tracks labeled clearly and use color coding to differentiate between instruments or sections. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Next, embrace the power of automation. Don't be afraid to automate volume, panning, or effects to create movement and interest in your mix. A static mix is a boring mix. Speaking of distractions, minimize them. Close those unnecessary tabs, silence your phone, and create a dedicated space for music production. Remember, a clean and organized workspace can do wonders for your creativity and productivity. Chapter 4. Mastering your sound. The final touches. Mastering the final frontier. This is the stage where your track transforms from a well-mixed piece into a polished, professional-sounding masterpiece. It's the final step before your music is ready to be released to the world, and it requires a keen ear and a delicate touch. This is where you take your mix from good to great, ready for the world to hear. First up, compression. Compression is essential in mastering because it helps to control the dynamic range of your track. By applying gentle overall compression, you can glue your mix together and enhance its loudness without sacrificing the natural dynamics of your music. We're talking about gentle, overall compression to glue your mix together and enhance its loudness. Next, limiting. Limiting is a crucial step in mastering that gives your track that final boost in volume, making it competitive with commercial releases. It ensures that your track can stand up against other songs in terms of loudness and presence. This is what gives your track that final boost in volume, making it competitive with commercial releases. However, it's important to be careful with limiting. Too much limiting can squash your dynamics and make your track sound lifeless. The key is to find the right balance that enhances your track without compromising its integrity. But be careful, too much limiting can squash your dynamics and make your track sound lifeless. EQ plays a crucial role in mastering as well. Equalization allows you to make subtle adjustments to the overall tonal balance of your track, ensuring that all elements of your mix are well represented and that no frequencies are overpowering others. EQ plays a crucial role in mastering as well. Use it to make subtle adjustments to the overall tonal balance of your track. This can involve boosting or cutting certain frequencies to achieve a more balanced and pleasing sound. Remember, the goal is to enhance the track without altering its original character too much. Use it to make subtle adjustments to the overall tonal balance of your track. Gain staging is critical here. Proper gain staging ensures that your track is peaking at a healthy level, leaving enough headroom to avoid clipping and distortion. This is essential for maintaining the clarity and quality of your final master. Gain staging is critical here. You want to make sure your master track is peaking at a healthy level, leaving enough headroom to avoid clipping. This involves carefully adjusting the levels of each element in your mix to ensure that they all sit well together and that the overall mix is balanced and cohesive. You want to make sure your master track is peaking at a healthy level, leaving enough headroom to avoid clipping. Remember, mastering is a delicate art. It's not just about making your track louder. It's about enhancing its overall sound and ensuring that it translates well across different playback systems. Remember, mastering is a delicate art. It's best to start with subtle adjustments and gradually increase until you achieve the desired loudness and impact. Take your time, listen carefully, and make sure that each adjustment serves the overall vision of your track. With patience and practice, you'll be able to master your sound to perfection. It's best to start with subtle adjustments and gradually increase until you achieve the desired loudness and impact. Mastering is the final step in your music production journey, and it's what will make your track stand out in a crowded market. So take your time, trust your ears, and enjoy the process of bringing your music to life. Chapter 5, Beyond the Basics, Exploring Advanced Techniques. All right, you've mastered the fundamentals. Now it's time to push the boundaries and explore some advanced techniques. Sampling. It's not just about chopping up old records. It's about finding unique sounds and incorporating them into your music. Synthesizers. These are your sonic playgrounds. From classic analog warmth to futuristic digital textures, the possibilities are endless. Don't be afraid to experiment and break the rules. Sometimes, the most unexpected combinations can lead to the most interesting results. And remember, music production is a journey, not a destination. There's always something new to learn, something new to try. Surround yourself with other passionate musicians and producers. Share your work, get feedback, and learn from each other. Music is a collaborative art form, and some of the best ideas come from bouncing ideas off of others. Thanks for watching Unlocking the Secrets. Top 5 music production tips. I hope you found these tips helpful and inspiring. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tips and tricks to take your music production to the next level. Happy producing!